Another major NASCAR silly season domino has fallen as AJ Allmendinger will return to the NASCAR Cup Series full-time in 2025. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel and welcome back to the video. As I just said a second ago, we got some pretty major breaking news as it has been officially announced that AJ Allmendinger will return to the NASCAR Cup Series full-time in 2025. He'll be driving the number 16 Cup car for Kaulig Racing in 2025. I don't believe any sponsors were announced, but this is absolutely a massive and really huge deal. There's been rumors and speculation about a potential possibility that AJ Allmendinger was potentially going to move back up to the Cup Series full time, but we didn't know if it was exactly going to happen. I feel like when it was announced that AJ was going to be returning to the NASCAR Xfinity Series last year, I feel like there was kind of some unfinished business when he moved back down to Xfinity, because in 2023 he did win a NASCAR Cup Series race at the Charlotte Roval, and say what you want to say, he had a chance and opportunity early in the year to be able to go out there and make the playoffs. And I think in 2025, especially on the road courses, I think he is going to have a really strong chance and opportunity to do it. So far this year in the NASCAR Xfinity Series, he really hasn't had that great of a season. SVG has been a lot better. That means Shane Van Gisbergen has been a lot better so far this year on the road courses. And while he's been a little better on the ovals, they're kind of very comparable in statistics at the moment. So I think moving him back up the Cup does make a lot of sense. Having a full-time driver behind the wheel of one of your Cup Series cars does make a lot of sense, all things considered. So what are my expectations for AJ Allmendinger in 2025? Realistically, I think AJ will be a playoff contender next year, not just on the point side of things, but also in basically the speed and pace. He's going to be a contender on road courses on a week-by-week basis, which there's going to be 5 or 6 of those, most likely in the regular season. And then also, of course, he's probably going to be good on super speedways, and he might be good at short tracks as well. And a track like Homestead, where he's been pretty good the last couple of years, I think he finished in the top 5 in 2022 and had some pretty good pace and speed in 2023. I think AJ Allmendinger will have a chance and opportunity to make the playoffs on points. And I think he will have one of his better seasons. And like I said a second ago, having one full-time driver behind the wheel of the number 16 car is going to make a lot of sense. I think one of the reasons that 16 car has really struggled so much so far in 2024 is because they've been doing so much rotation with that number 16 car. They've had Shane Van Gisbergen in that car. They've had Ty Dillon in that car. They've had AJ Allmendinger in that car. They've had Derek Kraus in that car. They've had Josh Williams in that car for a few races this year. Having one core driver that you can use to work with, most likely Travis Mack. I believe Travis Mack most likely will be the crew chief of his car next year. Having one driver that you can fully focus on for the season, that makes a lot of sense. And I think Kaulig is making the right decision to go ahead and put him back in full time. So I think AJ will have a very solid year in 2025, and I think he will be a contender for the playoffs. Now, I don't think he's going to go out there and win a ton of races, but I would not be surprised or shocked by the end of 2025 if he does win a race at, like, let's say the Charlotte Roval or Watkins Glen or maybe Sonoma, or maybe he gets to win a super speedway because their super speedway program in Cup has always been very, very good. So we now know he's into 16. What about the 31 car? Well, I don't think Kaulig Racing announced that today, but there's a lot of talk that Ty Dillon could be one of the lead candidates for the 31 car. Zane Smith has been mentioned as a possibility for the 31 car as well, but realistically, I don't think Zane Smith is going to end up there. There's a lot of talk he's going to go to Front Row Motorsports, and it sounds like we're very close to knowing the details in regards to Front Row Motorsports' remainder plans for 2025. Most likely, it's either going to be Dale Hemrick or Ty Dillon. Hemrick does bring a little bit of sponsorship with him, but there's been rumors and speculation that he could go back down to the Xfinity Series and drive for Kaulig's Xfinity Series program, so that could certainly be a possibility for 2025. Now let's talk about the Xfinity program, because this is a big move for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. With AJ Allmendinger moving back up to the Cup Series next year, what does this mean for the Xfinity Series program? Well, they're likely going to have a 3 to 4 car operation next year. There's obviously rumors of Christian Eckes moving over to Kaulig Racing full-time in 2025. And I think Christian Eckes, if you put him full-time in a Kaulig car, I think he will be a championship threat and contender. We've seen what he's been able to do with McEnany Hilgeman in the Truck Series, and his name's been heavily linked to going full-time there. I think he'll be part of the team. What about Josh Williams? Josh Williams, we don't know what his future is past this year, but I wouldn't be surprised or shocked if Josh Williams is out of the organization altogether for 2025 and going to another organization and team. What about Sam Mayer? Sam Mayer's been linked to multiple different organizations, Front Row, Spire Motorsports, and even Colleagues Xfinity Series program he's been linked to as well. Could we see Sam Mayer over here at this program in 2025? That could certainly be a shout and a possibility. And then you think about other organizations and teams that are making some pretty big moves and some other teams that haven't announced their 2025 plans. So what does this mean for the remainder of the silly season as well? Well, obviously, Junior Motorsports, they've announced that Connor Zilisch is going to be full-time for them next year. We do know most likely Sammy Smith and Justin Allgaier are going to be back with JRM, but it's expected that Brandon Jones could be going back to Joe Gibbs Racing. We also know the Haas factory team is planning to make an announcement this weekend on their driver lineup. There's been a lot of drivers rumored to be going to the Haas factory team. Haley Deegan's been mentioned. Ryan Preece has been mentioned. Sheldon Creed's been mentioned as a possibility. We know Joe Gibbs Racing, they're expected having much different lineup for the 2025 season. And overall, there's a lot of big silly season dominoes that are beginning to fall for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. And by the end of this month, I do think a lot of those big pieces are going to officially come into play for 2025. Again, I think this was the right decision for Kaulig Racing to move AJ Allmendinger back up to the NASCAR Cup Series. I think AJ will do a really good job with Kaulig next year in that number 16 car, and I think he's going to do a great job next year with Kaulig Racing. Again, having one core driver behind the wheel, considering that 16 car, like I said, has already struggled so much this year, I really think AJ is going to do great. On the Cup side of things, the 31 car is still available at the moment. Front Row, like I mentioned, they're expected to make their announcement in the coming weeks. We know that teams like 2311 are expected to get a third charter. We know that Bubba Wallace is expected to return to 2311. We know Riley Herbst is in the running for the third 2311C. We've heard others are cars as well. We've heard a lot of other drivers who could be in the running for other seats throughout the rest of the silly season as well. I think it's going to be very interesting to see how AJ does, though, in 2025, and I do think that AJ could be a very solid driver with the organization for the 2025 NASCAR Cup season. Very glad to see that AJ will get the chance and opportunity to return to the NASCAR Cup Series with Kaulig Racing in 2025. So, that is going to be today's special breaking news episode. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my page as well. Let's get some more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's episode. How do you think AJ Allmendinger is going to do driving a 16 car next year? Do you think he's going to make the playoffs with Kaulig next year, or do you think they're going to struggle like they kind of have so far this year? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Who do you think is also going to end up in the 31 car? What other moves are going to happen the rest of the silly season? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. There won't be any more videos dropping on the channel today. Most likely tomorrow we'll have a NASCAR news video discussing news over the course of the last couple days. Then on Friday and Saturday and Sunday, if the weather holds off for Michigan, because the weather does not look great for this weekend, we should have a NASCAR Xfinity Series review on Saturday. We'll have a Shane Van Gisbergen video most likely dropping. Sunday, if the NASCAR Cup Series race happens, we'll have the starting lineup for the Firekeepers Casino 400, and we'll have the race review for that race as well. And there might be other videos dropping this weekend because some other organizations are planning to make some big bombshell announcements soon. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.